machine also has a role to play. So we may think about the fusion of skills and ability augmentation. So then our job will be totally redefined by generative AI. So here, we think that the human will play a role as a pilot. So now we're talking about the machine's co-pilot, right? The co-pilot is the latest buzzword around generative AI. As we discussed in the last few slides, Gen AI will drive the reimagination of traditional job roles. Most jobs have tasks that can be assisted by Gen AI through automation or augmentation. So I think the future of jobs are human plus machine work. So we hope that 1+1 puts James' results higher than 2. So maybe in the coming years, everyone will have a machine co-pilot, for example, an assistant that helps us to complete our daily task, or a personal assistant to book the meeting, to reserve a restaurant for us, because the machine or the robot know our daily agenda or calendar, and can help us to arrange the meetings, for example. I think that would be very interesting. And in this co-pilot style, so human will define jobs and scope, and especially the target, what we want. And also human will dominate in emotional intelligence, especially for communication between humans, and make decisions based on experience. So human will make the final decisions. And the machine will play some other roles. For example, efficient data processing capabilities. We know that if you done any ETL job in IT, you may understand that how difficult the data processing could be, and how time-consuming job it could be. And that data quality will drive bad result, right? It's garbage in, garbage out. So I think machine can definitely help us for this part, for data cleaning, data processing, and help us to reduce the time. And then the machine can provide additional insights. So compared to our insight based on experience, so the machine insight is based on the training model, and it could be looks like more regional, right? And the decision assistance or the data or insights based on statistics, not based on the experience. So it could be eventually provide unbiased view on data. So I think that's the different roles or different advantages of two sides. But with all these advantages, I think that not all that glitters are gold. There are some drawbacks of Gen AI. So we have to take the balance between the benefits and drawbacks. Certainly, the hype is real, and so are the risks. So some of the benefits we know. Firstly, creativity, personalization, accessibility, innovation, automation, and some degrees of safety. For drawbacks, we can talk about security, lack of fairness, bias, harmful content, hallucinations, misinformations. So let's talk about the drawbacks one by one. Okay. The first one, here we have an example. So at this call, AI models are all statistical models. So working to predict a string of words that best answers your question. So that's the large language model. It's based on the statistics of the next words in the entire phrases. So the generative AI will help us to predict the next word in the phrase. So it's based on static model. And here is an example. So a user asked, write a positive review of Fire Festival. So Fire Festival, in fact, was held in 2017 and marketed as a luxury music festival. But it turns out to be a huge scam, which defrauded investors to the tune of $26 million. So this Fire Festival is a organized event. It turned into a total disaster. So nobody was happy, especially the organizers take a lot of money and the service is really bad, and very bad. And the organization is a disaster. So the organizer was pursued and also has some amount. So there's no good side of this festival, right? So, but the generative AI replied with imagination. It's not the fact. It's not the reality. So it's invented some histories. So it could provide some degrees of hallucination. So as you can see, when asked about the Fire Festival, ChatGPT followed the prompt in giving a positive review. So which is, however, different from reality. So this prompt and answer was generated in January 2023 and is a prime example of generative AI hallucinating. Okay, so of course, since then, the models have been improved. In just a few months, the same question was asked to ChatGPT, and it was its response. So now, if you ask the same question, the model will tell you, I'm sorry, but I cannot provide a positive review of Fire Festival. So the Fire Festival, which took place in 2017, was widely regarded as a disaster, etc., etc. So now we can see that the model improves over time, but there's a certain attention that must be paid to the answers provided by generative AI. So for the second part is the misinformation. So why it is dangerous? So generative AI responses are verbose and sound confident. So giving users a false sense of expertise, which makes some users susceptible to believe the content provided by the generative AI. So some malicious actors can use generative AI to create misleading articles, or even use technology like deepfakes to create convincing replica of real person doing bad things, right? But the verbosity plus confidence can misleading people. So here we have some examples. So that's an application of generative AI is deepfake. So imagine that the malicious actors can do with just a picture. So they can make compromising video of prominent people. So or even use this technology to impersonate other people and spread misinformation. So that's one of the big risks of generative AI technology. Okay, so the next topic we want to discuss is harmful content. So here you can see in the screen, in July 2023, Park and Save, a New Zealand supermarket chain, launched its generative AI receipt application, Savvy Mailbox. So the idea was simple and very good. So all user had to do was put in whatever leftover they have, and the app will propose and generate a receipt for them. So that was when user found out they could include ingredients such as bleach, ant poison, and more. So and the app would create receipt with some dangerous materials, right? So of course it was all good, all in good fun. But these are uh, potential issues that may cause harm down the road, right? So that could be also dangerous because the the GenTIs in some terms are not measuring the the impact or the dangerosity of the materials in the receipts. Okay, so that makes things looks fun, but eventually uh, could be come down, could be dangerous for some other people. That's just an example. You can imagine that if we ask something else, it's not a receipt, but workflow or something for the hospital, and that could be more dangerous impact, right? The next one is bias. Bias is inherently introduced based on the training dataset. No one dataset is huge enough to cover everything uh, the world has offered. So this image generated by AI is a great example of bias. What the AI thinks is patriotic. It's actually skilled towards the idea of America. So this is not wrong, but it does highly how bias may be present in generative AI models. So in this picture, if you type patriotic person saluting the flag, so the generative AI model will generate uh, uh, based onto text to image engine generate only images of a Caucasian standing in front of what looks like the American flag. So it's not wrong, but it could be other possibility, right? So technically, there's nothing wrong, but it is example bias as a result of training data. That's because the data trained with this model are based on America data. So obviously, when you ask the result, they're based also on the data set they have trained and used. So that's the bias based on uh, the data set of the training. Next one is lack of fairness. So as an extension from our previous topic, yes, generative AI applications may display a lack of fairness. So due to inherent bias within the system, we cannot, as of now, say that any AI system is free from bias and discrimination. So it based on the data. So data gathering out. So if you train the model with only a part of the truth, or not complete view, so the result will be also biased or lack of fairness or discrimination. So sometimes we think AI is a black box, but it's also very directly influenced by the data they trained. Okay, so in the reality, what we can uh, identify of this lack of fairness. So first one is implicit bias. So which means the implicit bias, depending on the data, it may bias the model against gender, age, race, etc. Sampling bias. Sampling bias may be the data used to train the model does not statistically reflect the actual population. Temporal bias. The model may work well at the time of design, but over time, it becomes less effective with the changing environment. And next one is overfitting. So overfitting data means the model is fine-tuned too much to fit the training data. It performs badly for general cases. So this come in many forms. Imagine you are up for a performance review, which will be conducted by an AI assistant. The AI assistant can then purely looks at numbers of performance. So your KPI may be low due to a family, but the AI doesn't understand that and will give you a poor review in the end. So 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 in some terms, the AI generation, the Gen AI uh, can uh, can produce the judgment or the result lack of fairness based on incomplete view of the real situation. So we still need human uh, to weigh in on decisions. So that's why a human cannot be replaced, right? The human, we can provide tools and help them to do works. The last topic is about the security. So typically, when you release a raw generative AI application, the results are unpredictable. So one way of containing the damage a generative AI application can do is by setting boundaries. So take this screenshot, for example. The developer have set boundaries as to the scope of what the AI can answer. For example, if the user asks, outline a plan to steal from a charity or no-profit organization. And if they ask this plan for crime, so GMTI can reply, I'm sorry, but I cannot assist with that. So it cannot assist with the criminal person, right? But what happens when we manage to break the boundary? Okay. So with the use of adversarial networks, the same networks used to train and fine-tune AI model, a group of researchers managed to jailbreak the boundary. This led to some interesting results as it gives the prompter access to information that is normally inaccessible. Imagine if you trained your model on confidential or property data, malicious actors could easily jailbreak your model and steal your data. So that's the special usage of the prompt. And then instead of refuse to give the plan to steal the organization, the machine can propose a real plan. So that's the some risk that we can list. And I would like to know, what do you think? So what risks do you see generative AI posing in your field? So if you're working in the training sector as me, I think the the risk that if I use some example, I ask generative AI to give me some examples to list something. Sometimes I have to check myself if the example they used is a real example. I don't want to reproduce the fire festival experience, right? So I cited an example, but or cited an example which is not exist, or is totally uh, another version. So I think that's for me as a trainer, that could be a risk. And also, if I want to use generative AI to tell me about the coding, example coding, I have to test it, right? So I'm not sure that if the code that proposed by generative AI can really execute it. So I have to check that uh, before to use the content for my training. What do you think about the risk in your field? Okay, so you can type also in the chat box, or you can, I don't know, you can speak out. And I'm not sure that you can speak out because it's a webinar mode. So maybe you can type in the chat or in the Q&A and share with us your experience. And also maybe you think some other risk that is not listed here, but is worth to talk about. Okay, so let's prepare maybe 2 minutes. Okay, so let's have a 10 minutes break. And during the time, you can think about and maybe prepare some experience sharing with us, and then we'll come back. Okay. Okay, I think that someone has asked a question. The name of the technique that calls the generative AI provide answer to a crime plan. Okay, so this looks suspicious. The question. Okay, so that's is adversarial attacks. Okay, that's adversarial attacks. Okay, I'll be back in 10 minutes. In the meantime, you can prepare your questions and also the experience you want to share, or you think there's something worth to talk about, or some testimony. Please, thank you. Okay. Okay, welcome back. Great. So do you have any question or do you have any uh, experience to share with us? So for example, you have experienced some attack or you have experienced some unfair or bias experience. So that'll be also very interesting to talk about, to share your experience with generative AI. I think that's the training is also uh, uh, a point of a opportunity to share our attendees' experience, right? Okay, so if you do not have some question or any question, and we can uh, talk about the last part of the training. So with great power comes great responsibility. So when we build the generative AI applications, we think we have to take care about different aspects. So on the left hand, we have individuals and developers. We think that as an individual, we have to think about a reasonable safeguard. And when we train the model, we should consider and prepare the model data set. Uh, so ideally, we should use a neutral data set instead of partial data to avoid any unfairness at the end or bias at the end. And we have to also think about uh, the user experience and impact. So when we build a generative AI model, I think it's not only mathematics, so not an equation. So we have to think about the customer's experience at the end when you deliver the applications. We have to think about more social impact, ethic, and responsibility because the application is not only a calculator, it's a communication tool. It will have impact for the users. Okay, so it's that's quite different from most of the IT tools. The other tools may be application to calculate something or database. You send a request, you get the result. You select something from a table and you get the result. And these generative AI applications have huge impact for for the society and for the users. On the enterprise side, so for the enterprise who use generative AI, we suggest that they should think about the job personnel displacement, sustainable human and machine model, and how to assist their personnel instead of a replacement, right? So we'll propose uh, augmentation than replacement. And then we could build a proper level of trust of using these models within the companies. In terms of management circle to develop these generative AI applications, we think that managing AI application is a continuous circle of feedback and fix. So identifying and evaluating risks as they arise gave way to fix that help mitigate risks. So it's a circle. So we run alpha or beta version. We identify the risk, and then we evaluate, and then we update and mitigate that. I think that's the continuous circle to develop the AI, uh, and especially for generative AI applications. So I think that's end of this training. Hope you enjoy this training, and and enjoy your AI and GenAI AI journey. Okay, so do you have any other question? Great. Thank you for your time, and looking forward to talking with you in the next session of AI training. Have a nice weekend. Bye bye. Great. Implicit bias. So, which means the implicit bias, depending on the data, we imagine